What's up, guys? IceMaN here, bringing you a Gears of War 3 commentary on Dry Dock. I believe I go 15-4 this match. Nothing really crazy, but I had some nice snipes and played fairly well, so I figured I'd do a commentary for you guys. And I have a pretty crazy time in my life that I just want to tell you guys about. This goes down in history for my community, my neighborhood, my school systems. Just around here, you know about this place, and it was called the Cosby house. And this house reminded me of that Project X movie where that guy had like 500 people at his house or something crazy. But every weekend we would have 300 people come to the Cosby house. He had 15 acres and it was in the middle of the woods and literally a mile-long driveway just packed with cars. And it was crazy. It was just a whole bunch of 16, 17-year-old kids. And my friend Kyle, he's actually my cousin. Actually, I didn't find out he was my cousin until I was 18. Go figure. We found out that we were like like third cousins or something, somehow related on my dad's side of the family. And it was crazy. He's like, yeah, you know, my dad's second cousin is Dean, yada yada. And I was like, really? That's my dad's first cousin or some shit like that. I don't know, but it was crazy. We found out that we were related. And he's been my friend for a long time, and he's always thrown just like the sickest parties, and literally 300 people every weekend. Just everyone knew about it. It was on Facebook. Never had a cop show up once because none of the cops knew where it was. They knew about it, but all the kids said is going to the Cosby house tonight. It's not like they threw an address on Facebook or anything like that. So and the reason why they called it the Cosby house was because it was located right next to Cosby High School. There's 3 major high schools in my little city. It's the city I live in, or the town, or whatever you want to call it, the county. It's not that big. There's 3 major schools: Clover Hill High School, Cosby High School, and Manchester High School. And all 3 of those schools, like all the kids that actually partied, came to the Cosby house. It was a really good girl-to-guy ratio. It was probably like split right down the middle, 50-50. And, it was a really fun time. There was a barn on his land, a 2-story barn, and there was couches upstairs. And he actually had extension cable wired to the barn with TVs in it. Kids were smoking weed upstairs in the barn. That was where all the kids went to go smoke. And in the house was just packed. There was cars surrounding all out in the yard. There was like 40 cars out in the middle of the field with a humongous bonfire just blazing in the middle. And all the guys had like the iPod adapters, and they would hook it up to the cars and like play the same song at the same time and just like bump. And it was really good. It was a really good time. I miss those days. And it seems like I haven't been to a party that big. I take that back. I went to a party in Longwood High School. It was a quad kegger. Not Longwood High School, Longwood College. It was a quad kegger. That was that big, but it wasn't that cool. The cops ended up coming to that. It was not enough room for that many people, and it was just packed. But this was just a wide open field, just full of people, full of my friends. And it was a really great time. Everyone I knew was there. And long story short, basically at the end of the night, my friend Kyle, the owner of the house, the property, him and his girlfriend were actually going through a really tough time, and they were actually splitting up. He's actually got a 3-year-old kid, and yeah, I know, he's 21 years old with a 3-year-old. It's a really big responsibility, and he's growing up pretty quick. But anyways, him and his girlfriend were having a lot of trouble, just fighting and whatnot, and she found out that he was having a party and, decided to call my friend Kyle's parents, or my cousin, his parents, and was like, Kyle's having a party on your Cosby house property. And that, like, just infuriated his father. His dad woke up, fucking drove to the property at like 2 a.m., and like one of my friends, Brian, was puking on the toilet in the house, and his dad rolled up and put a shotgun to Brian and said, "Get your ass outside, punk. Everyone's leaving." Just like you could hear a pin drop in the house. Like, my friend almost shit himself while he was throwing up on the toilet, and he just like his dad tapped him on the shoulder with the shotgun, and he turns around and wipes the throw up off his mouth, and he's like, "Yeah," and he just sees a barrel in his face, and his face just turned white. It was fucking crazy. His dad was just pumping rounds of the shotgun into the air, and made all the kids leave. It was just like, like crazy rush of teenagers just running through the field, just running. And I remember actually one time cops did come. It was towards the end. This was actually right after his dad pulling the shotgun on Brian, and the cops came like 2 weekends later because Kyle had, he didn't want to stop the party. Everyone was looking forward to it. Like, yo, Kyle, Cosby House this weekend, right? We're going again, right? Like, he had to live up to that I throw a party every weekend kind of lifestyle. So everyone was looking forward to it, and he didn't want to let people down. So even though his dad told him he would kick him out of his house if he, had people at that house again, he did it anyways, and his dad ended up finding out and called the police to the party. And it was just, you should have seen how many guys were just running through the woods, running from the cops. They eventually stopped. It was too many people. They arrested a few guys that were stuck at the entrance of the driveway because they had a police unit actually at the entrance of the mile-long driveway, so no one could leave. I didn't, I was drinking, so I just ran into the woods, and I actually hid out in the woods for about 3 hours, I think. I think I even fell asleep against a tree stump out there and woke up at like 6 a.m. to like birds chirping, and just walked to my car and drove home at that point. But just crazy nights like that, I just miss being young and not having to worry about getting in trouble from the law, and just being out there. Just, you're young. What trouble can you get in? All you do is you get a little charge on your record. It goes away when you're 18, and you get taken home to your parents. But now it's like, all right, you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna get a charge on your record, disturbing the peace. And it sticks with you for a really long time. So just like acting dumb and childish like that is just not even worth it these days. I mean, if you're at a party full of 21-year-olds, then most likely you're gonna be fine. Which, you guys know as well as I do, there's always those 17-year-old girls, 17 to 20-year-old girls that show up at the parties. You're just like, why are they here? And they're always the ones that get you in trouble. They're always the ones acting belligerent and loud and get the cops called. And when the owner of the house has cops show up to his house asking if there's any minors in there, when there always is, and they're like, no, there's no minors, and they end up coming in the house and slap the owner of the house with a supplying alcohol to minor charge. That's why if you guys are having parties and you're 21, you make sure if anyone's drinking, they're of age. So you guys just got to be safe out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and take it easy, guys.
Is destined.